3 years ago, I released a video about a tribute F40 being built in a home garage. And at the end of that video, I asked the ultimate question. Can you build a modern day F40 for under £100,000? Now, many of you have since asked what happened to that car, and I'll address that later on. However, what that video did 3 years ago was inspire a whole host of DIYers to build their very own F40 tributes, with some of those tributes even using a bunch of genuine F40 parts. Today I'm going to share with you an F40 with a big twist. A car that's been built on an existing Ferrari chassis, reclothed with many genuine F40 parts, but transformed from its near 40-year-old design to utilise modern day technologies, subsequently improving this F40, making it lighter, faster, more nimble, and better yet, more usable. But at the same time, retaining those classic elements that made the original design so utterly magical. Well, now I know some of you right now are feeling a little bit disheartened that this is an F40 tribute, but hang in there, bear with me, because in a little bit, I'm going to give you a taster of something that will more than make up for it. Just watch out for a few of the clues that I drop along the way, and trust me, this is more than just a tribute. Let's check it out. This build here is absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to show you around it. You're probably not going to believe me when I tell you some of the things about this car, but it is by far the most exciting build happening right now. So guys, this is my good friend, my good buddy, Raphael, an absolute genius, even though, you know, he'll say so himself. He built this and he's done it in a little garage all by himself, but it is absolutely identical size-wise to an F40. And that is because the majority of these panels are original Ferrari panels. Obvious question, why?
When we were kids, if you had one picture on your wall, it was a Ferrari F40.
I certainly did. It was
yeah.
F40. Actually, I think mine started 288 GTO, F40, Lamborghini Countach. Let's talk about some of the things that you've done on this car. So, first of all, you've recently had it weighed.
Yeah, so it's come in at just over a tonne, 1,030 kilograms to be precise, and which is incredible. And I believe I can get it below a tonne.
Now, one thing to point out here, guys, is this is not complete project at the moment. It's still just still some fettling, some things to finish off.
Yeah,
like
just modifications.
Modifications, just little bits. Like I saw the handles here. You haven't done those yet at the moment. So yeah, don't judge everything at the moment from what you see, because it's very close. I would say 95% really.
Yeah.
And
it's running and driving.
You're going to hear it running in a second. And actually, that's a nice little segue to, let's find out what you got under here. Obviously, it's not an F40 engine. I've just filmed with Euro spares, and a genuine engine now is £650,000 just for the engine, not the gearbox. But I think you've done something much, much cooler in here. Shall we show them?
Yeah, why not?
One thing a lot of people don't realise with F40 rear clams is they're bloody heavy.
Yep.
Okay, and normally it can be done with a one man, but it really is a two-man job.
We're old and weak. Right?
Okay,
bring it down?
So we're going to bring it down. So me and Raf basically see each other pretty much every day, and we have this conversation because a lot of people will see this video and they'll go, I can do that. What most people don't understand about a build like this is the time and the research that goes on behind just the build. Yeah, I mean, for me, I would say the time doing all that really is 5 times the amount of actually building the car, isn't it? The research going into it.
The research, yeah, the evenings just spent and just trying to find things, just getting parts and just, yeah, it's all down to how accurate you want to do it.
Yeah. Now I often spend a big chunk of my day hunting down car parts for all of my builds, but I end up pulling my hair out trying to navigate the minefield of ads. So I love ad blockers and I also love getting paid. Well, guess what? With Pi, you get both for free. Let me demonstrate how this works, specifically visual mode, because it's so satisfying to see. Well, we've got our Pi ad blocker on. We're on Amazon. Right, let's just do a thing. Phone holder. Watch this. All of those ads disappear. Space saved. 46% of the page saved.
Now that's a cooler, Nicky.
But it gets better because Pi allows you to have a piece of pie yourself. Because Pi allows you to opt in for a limited number of ads and earn generous cashback rewards.
Oh, and you're going to want to also check out the Pi shopping extension for automatic coupons and cashback rewards, because it will save you some money, which in turn will help keep your pride and joy on the road.
And it's so simple, guys. All you got to do is go to pi.org/Ratarossa, install the ad blocker, pin those extensions to your toolbar, open up a new tab, and enjoy a delicious slice of pie. That is the internet, all ad-free, of course. Now, I've got to say a massive thanks to Pi for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back to the build.
Now, before I reveal which engine is being used under this beautiful rear clamshell, let's have a little bit of fun. Now, without cheating, I want you to drop your engine guesses in the comments below while I clear up something and explain some vital details.
Now, this is what we like to call an F40 tribute. It's made up with some genuine panels and some genuine parts, but there's a big difference. Here's Ratarossa's guide on how to distinguish between a real F40 and a tribute F40. Now, this is a model of the 288 GTO. I happen to think is one of the prettiest Ferraris that they ever made, but the price tag nowadays is about £4 million for one of these. So I'm going to build one. So this is my 1987 Ferrari 328 GTS. It was built by Ferrari. It's got a Ferrari chassis and it's got all the Ferrari documentation to match. But if I simply remove all of this bodywork and replace them with things like this original 1984 288 GTO body panels made by Ferrari at the factory, came off a smashed 288 GTO, need a slight repair. And then add in a couple of other bits, a set of these genuine and very, very expensive 288 GTO mirrors, and bolt them onto the car somewhere around about there. And then into the mix, we add in some very tasty little items like these 288 GTO genuine from fog lamps. And what if we took it further still, changing out all of the 328 wheel system with center lock 288 GTO hubs and wheels to match. So surely then, with all the genuine body panels, the mirrors, the wheels, the lights, the interior, and everything else genuine GTO that we slap on to this 328, I can then call it a real 288 GTO. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite work that way because this car was not one of the original 272 GTOs built by Ferrari at Maranello. Then I can never call this a real GTO. It's a 328 with a body kit on it. So essentially, it doesn't matter if they're real panels or not, this is always going to be a GTO tribute. You see, in order for my friend Raphael to be able to call his F40 tribute a real genuine F40, well, it's going to take a little bit more than a few genuine body panels or even some genuine seats. There are some key ingredients you need. Number one is a genuine Ferrari F40 chassis, which is a little bit hard to come by these days. Then you have to add into the mix a genuine F40 engine and gearbox. Ideally, all three are matching numbers, but the key point is all three of those would have had to be assembled by Ferrari as an F40 at the factory in Maranello during the production years. And finally, you would have to be able to really back that up with all the paperwork and documentation to prove it was a real Ferrari F40. And with that cat firmly out the bag, if you really do want to see a genuine, real 1990 F40 get rebuilt from the frame up with some very, very tasty upgrades, then make sure you click on that subscribe button down there, because once we finish a few more videos on the BBI, we're going to be starting the mother of all builds. I've got a few more little bits we need to buy, but then we are rebuilding a very genuine Ferrari F40. So smash that subscribe button because you are not going to want to miss what is coming very soon. All right, so I'm going to come underneath here. It's going to be a bit of a tricky one to film. But in the back there, Raph, what have we got, mate?
That is a 4.7 litre Maserati engine, mated to an Audi 01E 6-speed gearbox.
Wow.
Custom ECU, heck of a lot of work.
Custom exhaust by the look of that as well.
Yeah, custom exhaust. Again, you know, it's things, one of the airboxes is not on there yet. Just still working away, doing things, braking.
So it's essentially, like, I'm looking at that and I see that it's really, really like close to an F40. You've got the two alley tanks over there that you've had made. I see that's very much, obviously, normal F40's got bag tanks. Mine will have the alley tanks as well. Just prefer that as a safety, and it's, you know, £30,000 every 8 to 10 years is something you don't really want to spend. But even if you look at the top of this engine, you got this kind of lattice effect, which is very, very similar to F40. The other thing I notice is you've got this cross brace as well. So the normal F40 just has one brace here, and you've gone with a cross brace.
Yeah, as per LM.
LM, and again, chassis strengthening.
Yeah, just to strengthen it up, Scott, because the F40 chassis is not that rigid.
Yeah.
And if I can make it stronger, then yeah.
Stronger, let's make it better. Now, the other thing, we're talking about chassis here. So what is this built on? Did you build the chassis yourself? Or?
So this is actually just a rebodied Ferrari anyway.
So this is, which Ferrari is this one then?
This is I used a 308 GTS.
For those guys who don't know, Ferrari really did kind of reuse a lot of things from the parts bin. Now, the F40, the 288 GTO, the supercars, essentially, the chassis was very, very similar to a 308. I'm going to give you a little kind of insider bit of information here, and that is that these doors can bolt straight on to a 308, like for like. There is no difference. 308 coupe, by the way, not a Targa. So the center tub of a 308, a 328, is identical, pretty much identical to a 308. The major differences are all at the back here. And Raph, you've made quite a few modifications to the chassis here, haven't you?
Yeah.
What were the things you were doing over here, just for, I think it was the mounting points, was it?
Well, the whole rear chassis has been cut off and extended because the engine and gearbox is sitting the other way around. Gearbox sticking out the back.
Yeah.
So that's lengthened, 100 millimeters.
Okay. Yeah, obviously we've got the engine coming this way on a 308, 328. We've got it, I can never get it the right way around. You've got transverse.
And longitudinal.
So longitudinal. So we've got it the other way around on this one. So you've changed a lot of it, and you've also strengthened it. I can see a lot of stuff that you've done on there. Yeah. It's slightly different.
Still needs more, to be honest with you. But yeah, just modifying things and yeah.
And what I love is stuff like this anti-roll bar here and all the drop links. They look to me to be a lot more sturdy, more stronger than the standard F40. So this really is going to be a very, very nice and capable car.
Basically, Scott, this is on a rolling road. This is kicking out 400 horsepower at the rear wheels. In a car that weighs 1,030 kilograms. Now, if you compare that to a 458, which I think is getting towards 600 horsepower.
Yeah.
But the car weighs 1.5 tons.
Right. 500
kilos difference.
So basically, it's a very similar engine that they used here. And what you're saying really is this is the first iteration of you just having that first map on this car. It's not finished. There is a lot more to go on this. And really, I don't know if it would be possible. If you really, really wanted to get a whole hog on this one, you could slap a couple of turbos on like Ferrari did, yeah? And you're probably talking 1,000 brake horsepower on this thing.
You could. I mean, people have, I'm aware of a supercharger being fitted to one of these, but as of yet, no turbos. I mean, to my knowledge, nobody's ever used one of these engines in obviously they're used in the Maserati Quattroporte, but like in a custom application. And yeah, so it's interesting to do it and just sorting out and doing the electronics to run the engine.
I
It's
think
a shitload of work.
this is going to be more than capable, and it's going to be a heck of a lot of fun.
Let's see. Oh, right.
That was the groan of an old man.
Yeah, definitely.
That is mad. That is mad. Mate, you have got to be happy with that.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, it's
That
just,
sounds absolutely mega, absolutely insane.
for
I
me-
want to say that actually sounds better than a normal F40. I hate to admit it, a normal F40 does not sound that sexy. That is really, really something else, mate. Wow.
it's just, well, it's beautiful, isn't it?
It's
It is-
beautiful.
It's something
It's
else.
beautiful.
And I made it.
You made it. You've got to pat yourself on the back, mate, because that is that's so impressive. It is identical. The everything is real. Like, you got real parts on here. The bits that aren't real, I think, was the quarters, but they're molded from a real car. It's the wheelbase, everything is identical to an F40. There is no difference. Every single part of this can be changed with an F40 panel wise. So we talked earlier about really the front clam here. The nice thing that I know you mentioned is you haven't got all the pop-up lights. I think it makes the lines look a lot cleaner, a lot
Definitely.
crisper.
The pop-up lights just ruin it.
I think so. And then really the other thing that you don't know or you don't necessarily realize is the front clam on an LM is quite a bit wider. It's I can't remember what the dimensions were, but a normal F40 clam on this really does not look as mean at all. This, you can see you've got a lot more bulge here over the wheels at the front. This LM style front clam that Raphael was used on the build is not an original, and the reason I know that is because I used to own this. Now there's a really cool story behind it that is actually documented in this book, but before I show you, I want you to pay close attention to these bits in here that are blue. Now, watch this. When I sold this clam to Raphael, underneath this recess for the wing badge there, this area used to curve right in. Now Raphael's modified it to be flush with this lower sill, but before that it gave us a clue to figure out where this came from. Now if we come to our F40 book and go to this section where a load of heroes would race their F40s around the track at weekends, pay close attention to this part of this front clam here. It curves in, and that was this bit here that used to curve in when I bought it. Now also the front end of that was a very light blue, and that was how this was painted when I first bought it, with some livery on it. And well, it was on the front of a race winning F40, a guy called John from Italia Autosport, who are a Ferrari specialist here, as you can see on that one, used to use his F40 with this clam on and win races. So that makes this very cool. So we've seen the money shot in the back, but this just keeps going. It's so well put together. Let's have a look on the inside, shall we? So straight away I can see door handles. These are original F40 door handles. We've got no locks in them at the moment, but everything else is all cool. I can feel that these doors, look at them, they are featherweight doors. Original doors, we've got the carbon Kevlar in there, you can see. We've got all that is the door pull. Now you'll see that these doors are F40 LM doors. Now the way you can check, or you can tell straight away, is that there is no carbon cover on it. There is no window winder. That is because Raph has gone completely lightweight with this one, true to some of the very, very rare original F40s. We've got slidey windows on here. And this is your door opening device. Original locks in there.
Even things like the door hinges, well, they look like they've just been thrown together, but they're exactly the same as the normal F40.
Now, the one thing that a lot of people might realise, especially all my viewers across the pond, this is a very rare F40. It's a right-hand drive. I believe there was only one, maybe two other ones made, and they were made for the Sultan of Brunei. And I think only one of those has ever been up for sale.
As a comparison, let's have a look inside a real F40 LM, and straight away you can see quite a few of the similarities here that Raphael was aiming for. There's still quite a few bits to be finished off on the inside here, but the use of original switches and Ferrari switchgear are a really nice touch. There's even the added bonus of a quick release steering wheel. Another upgrade is the car has gone from a 5 to a 6-speed gearbox, and the vital part of that is it's still a manual. These red sports seats look close enough, and at 1/100th of the cost of an original set, yes, you heard me right, you could buy 100 sets of these for the cost of one genuine set. Can't see these being upgraded anytime soon. Now I can't resist, I've just got to press that red button and have a quick go myself. That's naughty. As mentioned earlier, it's about 95% complete. There's lots of little things like tidying the chassis, tweaking it and then repainting it black. Wiring needs finishing off. Then there's minor little things like the cover for the brake reservoirs in that front clam. That all needs to be made up. Suspension and wishbones, they all need setting up. But things such as the door gaps may look terrible, but that's exactly the same as the original F40. I love details like the F40 style fuel caps and the fact that the front clam, like an original LM, is not hinged and it's still a two-man job to install. And unlike the Ferrari 308 that this car was built on, there's now a very convenient engine access panel cut in the cabin, which is going to come in very handy when working on that V8.
Okay, so I can see wheels, they're different to normal F40. Now, straight away, I can actually spot that you've got a 5-stud pattern on this one, whereas you've got a centre lock on the F40.
Yeah.
Any reason for that, or you know, what is there a plan to change that?
Yeah, cost. This is a cheaper option at the moment, just to get it done, get it on the road. But I'm working on changing the wheels, centre lock nuts.
I actually think they look great.
Oh yeah,
what size are these ones?
These are 18-inch wheels.
So 18-inch is F40 LM. Most LMs had 18-inch. F40 road cars 17-inch. So you can actually put a bigger brake system in this if you need to. I think they really suit it. I personally, if you were going to keep these, maybe go like a titanium colour, slightly lighter than the black. I think it'll pop more. But
these, for this was a wheel that was bought temporarily, something cheap, and then another thing in the future, upgrade, and because I do want to go
centre locks.
Yeah, definitely.
So what would you do? Get some hub adapters made in there for the centre locks?
Yeah, I'm working on it at the moment, getting some stuff machined up, and some wheels.
I think wheels make or break a car, don't they?
Oh yeah, for sure.
These look great, but whatever you're going to do on this, I think the exception to the rule is you can put anything on this; it's still going to look great, isn't it? Budget on this one, we're not going to reveal that at the moment.
No.
We're going to wait for that. So what we've decided is, because it's not finished, we're not going to reveal how much this has cost, but we will say it's a fraction of the cost of
for sure.
What's an F40 nowadays? Getting on for £3 million. So this is a lot less, right?
Oh, yes.
A lot less.
Look at the clothes I'm wearing.
But we will go through some numbers. I think when I start building mine, when we start putting the videos out, I think Raph will be quite close to finishing this one. We can tot it up and give an idea of really what this is.
And
cost.
by the time you finish building yours, you'll be wearing clothes like mine. Because you won't be able to afford anything else.
I'll be on a Zimmer frame, mate. Don't worry.
Let's have some fun with this one, guys. In the comments below, what do you think it has cost to build this F40 Tribute? And ultimately, going back to my original question 3 years ago, has Raphael managed to do this for under £100,000? Now, this F40 is not the only car Raphael has built. There is a long list over many years, such as this Porsche Speedster that he recently completed, a Renault 5 Turbo with modern engine that he's working on at the moment. That's just to name a couple. And next up, he's going to top it all by building a Lamborghini Miura. And if you'd like me to film some more detail on any of those builds, just let me know in the comments below. Now, I've got to say a massive thanks to my buddy Raphael for showing us around today, and while he puts the car away, I just want to say that there are also some other amazing and very exciting F40 tribute builds happening right now. Across the pond, Mike over at Stance Works is going down a completely different route, building something rather special and clothing it with genuine F40 panels, and it's well worth checking out. Now, here's the funny thing about Mike's build, and I couldn't believe it when I actually saw it on his video. That roof that he has bought, well, I used to own it, and unfortunately I had to send it back and exchange it because the one that is currently on his car, well, when I received it, it had a large section of the lower window broken off and missing. So I suspect Mike is going to have to fabricate that.
Now, I often get a question or a comment about these tributes, about these replicas. Do they somehow diminish or steal some of the magic from the real cars? And it's a good question. And I guess in the case of the F40, since launch, the prices have always been way beyond the financial reach for the vast majority of people who would love to own one. The only way they're ever going to do it is, well, to experience a tiny piece of that pie, is to build some kind of tribute. Do those builds though then tarnish the 1311 or however original F40s are still remaining? Well, Ferrari thinks so. That's why they're very keen to protect the brand and the reputation of those F40s that they have built. Personally though, I'm a little bit on the fence with this one, and I can't really comment too much when I've done things like this to real Ferraris. But I'm very keen to know your thoughts on this, guys. Is there a place for tributes, or should they all be crushed and destroyed because they're damaging Ferrari's reputation? Let me know in the comments below. Let's have a good old-fashioned discussion on it. Now, while I crack on with the BBI rebuild, you guys need to do your bit, and that is simple. Just click on that like button, drop a comment below, share the video, and of course, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And in return for that favor, I promise you, I'm gonna bring you the most awesome, real, genuine F40 rebuild you will ever witness. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you all very shortly in the next one. Stay safe and ciao for now.